Bulletproof, familiar and relatively cheap. This is the Nissan Patrol TI.
The Patrol is clearly more truck than car. It's utilitarian. It's built for a purpose, and that purpose is for getting off the beaten track.
The Patrol is really more your workhorse type of vehicle. I mean, it doesn't really have the luxuries as the same luxuries as a couple of the others, but it definitely gets the job done.
The Patrol TI is equipped with typical luxury items: leather seats, sunroof, ABS brakes, climate control, cruise control, 7-seat capacity, iPod and Bluetooth connections, and rear view camera.
The driving position in the Patrol is pretty good. There's quite a bit of room up front and all the dials are really clear and accessible.
This TI also has some special features, including the little picnic tables here. You can even put a cup inside the little cup holder, and it also has rear air conditioning with vents here, and also importantly it has vents for the third row, so those in the back aren't cooking in the middle of the summer.
Although equipped with many modern features, the Patrol lacks in certain departments.
The Patrol is the oldest by far of these four vehicles, and it shows in terms of cabin space, overall presentation and layout.
I don't love the interior, but I don't hate it either. It's obviously quite dated, and the faux wood trim looks like something out of the 1970s. Nonetheless, it's got all the bases covered.
The Patrol is a very capable towing vehicle, able to tow most vans with little fuss. The engine, however, needs a little work, often struggling on inclines, and this is something you'd hope Nissan's working on for the next generation Patrol.
The engine's got a lot of power. It's definitely there, but you've got to make the car work to get it. You've got to put the foot down, and it does take a little bit of time. It's not as responsive as, say, the Range Rover.
It's very much a workman-like engine. It doesn't have the power or the sophistication of the others here. It's also really quite noticeable, particularly when you hitch up a caravan, just how much you really have to work it hard. The 4-speed auto is something that's quite basic these days, when most others have a 5 or 6-speed automatic. And the part-time 4-wheel drive system, well, it does the job, but it does mean that you're on two-wheel drive only on hard surfaces. The Patrol's a pretty good tow tug. It hasn't got a lot of power. Uphills it does struggle when you've got a heavy caravan behind, but it's got good engine braking, it's reasonably efficient, and it's really good value. It's the cheapest truck here.
I'll be running some old-fashioned underpinnings, but the Patrol really gave me a lovely surprise up in the hills earlier today. We're going through some little sort of twisty roads, and against my expectations, the thing actually pointed very happily, went exactly where I wanted to, and it rode well. So out in the country, it's very much at home.
You can get a full-size truck like this with all the luxury features, and it's the cheapest here at under 70k.
The Patrol is not as luxurious as the Pajero. It's more or less at the same price bracket, not as many bells and whistles. But the Patrol knows it and is proud of it.
In effect, you're buying an old truck that's brand new, and it's good value too, so for a lot of people that really works.
If you've driven Patrols in the past, you might feel like reminiscing a little with this car. It's not as sophisticated as some of the others. You can see we're getting a bit of bounce and shake with the camera, and that's because the suspension's not the same generation as some of the other vehicles. It works a bit harder, but there's something a bit honest about this truck. It feels more like a truck than a car, and that's going to have a bit of appeal for some people. If you want something that's a bit simpler, and maybe a tiny bit retro, you're getting a lot of truck for the money.
Despite its age, its rugged ride and dawdling engine, there's a certain charm about the Patrol. Of the 4 cars tested, this seems like the most genuine 4-wheel drive, and for a lot of people, that's exactly what they're after.